You can tax it.
You can regulate it.
Apply age restrictions.
You can create millions of new jobs.
We can save our economy.
President Obama?
It's time for legalization.
Legalization.
Yes.
We
Can.
This has been a public service announcement.
So we're just a few minutes away from a celebration that is going to happen all around the world, once an hour, all day today. And let me assure you, this will be the largest cloud of smoke at 420 anywhere on the planet all year long. All year long.
Quite a large petition, as you can see.
I, too, have a very big stack of these petitions.
The Canadian government is again ignoring all of your petitions. I have a pile about this big of petitions. 43,000. There are tons of it. The Canadian government is our enemy right now. You need to get that goddamn conservative government out of power.
Activism, a man named Mark thousands of Canadians support our cause. We want this conservative party to know we're upset, and we're not going to take this anymore. We're not going to just sit back and send phone calls and emails. We're going to campaign against them as hard as we can. Free Mark Henry! Free Mark Henry!
Fuck shit, make yourself heard, because if you don't, we're going to lose the liberties we have, and they're running out on us very quickly.
Last one.
Wait outside. What's your name again?
My name's Christopher Goodwin.
Okay, Christopher and...
Aaron Gorman.
Aaron Gorman. Okay. The rest are going to have to go.
The Minister of Justice on Monday, May 10th, signed off for extradition.
I'm the most significant threat to the government of the United States in all of Canada.
So we're rolling joints at Peter Kent's constituency office. This is a first in Canada. The hash mob is doing it again, as they did on Monday in Vancouver. We're having a sit-in. We're peacefully protesting.
For the last 10 years, my entire job has been civil disobedience.
While I'm gone, Chris Goodwin is going to be kicking ass. He's going to be leading the revolution. He's going to be putting the fight for it.
We're fighting for the repeal of prohibition. So we won't stop until we get it.
If you love cannabis, let me hear you say yeah!
There's still sniffing marijuana on the table. Next time, it won't be a legal medical marijuana user, and it won't be us being cooperative with them. They will be dragging us out of here.
Man, so much of history is changed by people who just show up. Show up to a rally. Just make an appearance. You'll be amazed at what happens.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Nightline Twittercast. I'm Vicki Mabry. Thank you for joining us. 14 years ago, California passed a bill allowing for the prescribed use of so-called medical marijuana. Since that time, 13 other states have passed similar laws. This fall, a California voter initiative that would legalize possession and sale of marijuana has qualified for the November ballot. Now, while passage of this bill is by no means certain, it would be a watershed moment in the history of marijuana law in this country. So today we ask you, should marijuana be legal? Now, as always, we welcome your thoughts via Twitter. You simply go to the abcnews.com, go to Nightline, and click on our Twitter page. And remember to include @Nightline in your tweets. We also welcome those of you watching us live on Ustream.com. You can join the conversation via Twitter on your screen as well. Now, no package today. We're going to get straight into our guests. Our first guest is Brian Darling. He's Director of the United States Senate Relations at the Heritage Foundation. Mr. Darling is against the legalization of marijuana, and he joins us live in the ABC News Washington Bureau. Welcome. Also with us today, Alan St. Pierre, the Executive Director of the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws, otherwise known as NORML. Mr. St. Pierre is for legalization of marijuana, and he also is in Washington. Thanks to both of you for being with us today. Brian Darling, why are you against the legalization of marijuana?
Well, America already has a drug problem. If you look at the news coming out of Hollywood and the
the issues of prescription painkiller abuse we have in Hollywood, and all the problems that we're having, I come to the conclusion...
Wait a minute, why are you singling out Hollywood, first of all? We got Rush Limbaugh, who had a drug problem already, so I don't think you can put that just on Hollywood.
Not just on Hollywood, but America as a whole has a drug problem. So why would we go down the road of legalizing a drug that is unhealthy for your average American? It's something that's going to lead to other disorders. And not only that, it's going to make it...
What do you mean by disorders?
Well, even the Obama administration has come to the conclusion that it's bad for you, it's unhealthy. The science tells you that marijuana is not healthy for you. It may alleviate some pain if you have pain, but it's not something that's good for you that's going to make you healthier. And also for kids, I mean, if you have legalized marijuana in California, it's going to make it a lot easier for kids to get it. You can see the increased use in children, and this is at a time when we're seeing the use by children going down of marijuana. This is going to dramatically increase, and it already has under California's medical marijuana laws.
All right, I see Alan St. Pierre shaking his head already, so let me let you get in there right away.
I'm 44 years old. I occasionally smoke marijuana. The idea that the government would violently interact with me in the privacy of my home in a country where tobacco is legal and kills 400,000 people, a country where alcohol is legal, a country where hundreds of thousands of pharmaceutical drugs are available by a doctor's recommendation. How much possible sense does it make that in 2010, we're in our 73rd year of marijuana prohibition? Alcohol prohibition was an abject failure. Marijuana prohibition at the 73-year mark is an outrage.
Okay, but let me ask you, Alan, is pot, let's call it by its common street name, is pot more dangerous than alcohol?
No, I could smoke...
I mean, do you think that it's pretty much equal and that's the way people would use it?
People perceive marijuana now in the last 5 years as being not as harmful as alcohol. But specific to your question, not to be flip here, I could smoke every nanogram of marijuana in the District of Columbia, and I would just simply have very dry mouth and have to want to get something to eat immediately afterwards. If I drank 10 or 20 fluid ounces of anything over 100 proof, I'm dead.
So you're saying that marijuana does not kill?
Marijuana cannot kill. It has an LD rating of 50, meaning science has never measured the lethal dose.
Okay, but Brian, it's not whether it's going to kill you or not. You're saying that there's a lot more wrong with it in between being good for you and killing you.
Well, let's take a step back, too. I mean, you talk about the fact that marijuana is not legal. You know what else isn't legal? Heroin, crystal meth, cocaine, and a lot of other drugs that...
But would you make alcohol non-legal as well?
No. I think we as a society, I actually drink alcohol every once in a while. I'm a tobacco user. I love my dip.
Brian, in my world, we call you a hypocrite. Why is it that you can smoke tobacco and pay taxes to the state? You can go to happy hour tonight, but the government would put me in jail. How could you rationalize your hypocrisy?
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think that heroin should be legal?
No, and let me tell you why heroin's not going to be legal in your life.
Then you're a hypocrite.
No, excuse me, I'm speaking about pharmacology here. You know, there's a reason why there's not a Heroin Times magazine, Brian. There's a reason why Showtimes doesn't have a series about selling heroin. We have marijuana as a well-accepted drug despite its 73 years of prohibition.
It's not that well accepted. It's illegal. And society is determined that it shouldn't be legal.
But let's put some metrics on this. 75% of the public supports medical access to marijuana. 73% support this soft reform of decriminalization. 44% support legalization in California, where it started our conversation here today. 56% of Californians want marijuana legal. So you folks at the Heritage Institute who smoke tobacco, Foundation who smoke tobacco and use alcohol, you might want to be hypocrites, but the rest of the country, we don't want to be.
ABC News Now. Good to know.
A multi-agency police raid rounded up growers of medical marijuana. The cops say the growers were selling to the general public. The growers deny it, and one of them is speaking out from jail. KOMO4's Keith Eldridge is live at the Pierce County Jail with the exclusive jailhouse interview. Keith?
Yeah, 2 people are under arrest here at the Pierce County Jail. More arrests are possible in this case. Dozens of marijuana plants have been seized in what police are calling an illegal operation.